This is going to be fun. So, I want to title this talk, Who Sits on the Throne? The throne is your mind. The throne is your highest value and priority and how you anchor your life. Like everything basically gets filtered through this. You will notice when people talk about their idols, their TV shows, whatever that has got their time and money and their attention, that is the throne. The number one thing would be the one that sits on the throne. It could be their family. It can be, before I actually keep going on this tirade, it's not the right word to use, rant, soapbox. There is a term called hierarchy of values. In other words, this Chinese philosopher was suggesting that everything we do is based on a hierarchy and determining on the values, not what we say, but what we do. That's our values. So it's almost like ingratiated into our habits. Okay, so what does that mean? That means that, well, essentially, in order for me to break a value or replace it, I have to change my actions. My actions are anchored by habits that you keep doing for 21 days, or neuroplasticity, as Neuroscientist says. So 21 days you keep doing something, it becomes a habit. Your brain's like, all right, I guess this is important. I don't have to require much thought to execute it again. But why am I talking about this throne, this hierarchy of values? I can go on about. You can look it up and find it to your heart's content. The throne I'm suggesting to you, the reason why this is important is because we have put the wrong things on the throne. There's only one thing that's worthy to be on the throne, and that's God. Why? And Jesus Christ. Why is that important? Why am I trying to convert you? Well, from my own experience, I can tell you that every time I put someone or something that wasn't God on the throne, they have either disappointed me, they have failed, something, just humanity, or you can't rely on it. Why do I say that? Because everything in this world is pretty temporary. People are temporary. People are flawed. And that also means, by consequence, everything we do is fundamentally flawed. Eventually, it's going to crack. They're going to fail you. They're going to disappoint you, etc. 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 Your car is going to break down. I hate to speak that. Your tires will pop. You will be inconvenienced. And here's the problem. You have put these things on a throne suggesting that they owe you something. But when you put God on the throne, I actually back up. People put three things on the throne: themselves, someone or something, or God. If you don't do the third one, all hell generally breaks loose for you in your life. Because you're going to be reminded, guess what? They were not worthy to sit on the throne. Now, why is that important? Why is it important to have God on the throne? Well, here's why. Whoever sits on the throne anchors your values. Now, hierarchy of values that I just referenced teaches us that how you look at someone, I can determine your values based on your actions. However, I want to go one step deeper than that. What is the origin of your values? The origin of your values comes from who sits on the throne of your mind. In other words, the origin of your values is going to be directly correlated by the values of the one who sits on the throne. If a certain role model you like sits on the throne, guess what? You're going to inhibit the same values and conducts of that role model. That can be good or bad. I'm going to say it's bad primarily because they're humans and they're going to fail at some point, some way. Whereas God is infinite and our understanding ever growing. And as long as we can keep understanding Him more and more, we can keep infinitely growing more and more. In spite that we're finite, that's important. Whereas if it's a person, organization, group, you will often always be dissatisfied. Why? Because they did not fulfill the dissatisfactions of what the throne entails. And in the throne, it has to be someone that's worthy. It has to be someone that is warrant your respect, your devotion, your loyalty, your time, your energy. And guess what? No one is warrant that. Not even your wife, not even your kids, not even your husband. Why? Because they're just as human as you, and they will mess up. which means you need to put something greater than them. And instead of putting on the throne any type of creation, you gotta be putting the creator. Why is this important? Why did I bring all this up? Just because I want to convert you? No. I want to help you. Here's why. When I recognize the only one worthy to put on the throne of my expectations and hope and faith in was God, a lot of the things I worried about dissipated. I remember I put my bosses on the throne if I just pleased them. And then it dawned on me, wait a second, I can do everything right and they can still treat me like garbage. But here's the thing, if I do everything right, I'm not doing it for you. My emotional state is not on the basis of how you treat me. In fact, as far as I'm concerned, I'm doing this for something greater. And He will balance the books for me, not me. I'm not at the mercy of the creation. I'm at the mercy of the Creator. Once you're able to put that on the throne of your thoughts, life's issues, the locus of control goes from your hands to their hands to the one who made our hands. That's important. As a man thinking in his heart, so is he. If your thoughts are water break, if your thoughts are, oh boy, I sure hope so and so likes me, oh man, it's over with. You can cancel Christmas. It's over. How are you gonna do? You can't control that. You definitely can't determine that. I mean, you can do everything to the best of your ability, but you get the idea. It's beyond your control. But if you have that notion that, you know what, God's going to work it out, and if it works out, great. And if it doesn't, you know what, I'm cool with that too. Now that's powerful. That's a way to live your life. I would argue it's the only way to live through life. Who will sit on the throne? The reason, and you know, it's funny. You can say, well, Andre, I'm atheist, I'm this, I believe in this. And see, here's the thing. You don't need to be religious. My point is, who sits on the throne? You ever been in a relationship with somebody who sits on the throne? They're judge, jury, and executioner. Good God of mercy. You ever had somebody who sits on the throne and all their thoughts are anchored into a value system that basically is very biased? Yeah. But when you have something that is worthy to sit on the throne, which is only one person, life just, I won't say it gets easier, but I will say you become more resilient because your perspective is more tempered with an understanding of unchanging truths. Anytime you put something on the throne that can be changed or susceptible to change, which is everything, you're going to have issues. Is that the one who made everything? So, religious dogma rant aside, I want you to understand psychologically how our minds work. We're always, and here's why we have a throne mentality. Here's why it exists. Because our minds, secretly, we don't want to admit it, we're trying to justify our existence. We're trying to justify, why am I here? I'm here because of this company. I'm here for my kids. I'm here for okay, your kids are dead, your company fired you, and your wife divorced you. Who sits on the throne now? Now you gotta make a decision. Do I put something on the throne that won't screw me over or subject to change? Or do I fall apart? That's the toughest thing. And also because the throne is what justifies our existence. What justifies the suffering? Life sucks. So then the question is, why do I keep going? What's the reason to keep going? And that reason is going to be tied to who sits on your throne. I hope that helps you as it has helped me. And with that, I'll talk to you later. Deuces, you have a blessed day.